Hey guys, it's Bad Snacks here, and welcome to The Sauce Factory. We are a show talking about music technology, music production, lifestyle, all-around vibes, and we're talking to a slew of artists, producers, engineers from all over Los Angeles. And today, we have a returning guest by popular demand. We have Intrnet BF in the studio once again.
What's up?
Our friend Sean suggested the idea that every time you come on the show, we're going to call it the Crash Out.
Absolutely. Thank you to Sean Mendez for that idea.
Our good friend,
Close friend of the show.
Close friend of the show, Sean Mendez.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing a regular Crash Out with Intrnet BF.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, today's Crash Out is going to be pretty fun.
Yep.
For a slew of reasons. One, it's always good to have you in the studio.
Text your ex.
Don't do that. The second thing is that I'm actually super excited to show you the secret sauce that I have prepared today. I'm going to just tell you straight up what it is,
Okay.
because I can't contain my excitement.
You can't contain the sauce.
Which is that Roland integrated and merged forces with Serato, and you can now control Serato, both DJ Pro and the studio version of it, with the SP. So today, I'm going to basically show you how to DJ with the SP, which is like a revelation for me.
Hello, everybody. It's been a long year.
You want to hear something so sad?
Yes.
Is that a rep from Roland actually did email me saying that they had an exciting update, and they asked if I would sign an NDA so I could be part of the campaign. And I forgot to do that. I saw the email and I was like, oh, that sounds cool. They couldn't tell me what the actual update was. So like, I was like, oh, they're doing a firmware update. I'm sure there's gonna be some cool things. And it's not an excuse, but I completely fumbled that. So I could have been part of this launch and I fucked it up.
Jesse, it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
fumbling implies that you were holding it to begin with.
But I have both.
I mean, that's a huge L for you, obviously, but also like I'm not gonna rub your face in it.
Thank you.
It was a huge L.
It was a huge L, but I'm back, and I'm now approaching this from the standpoint of a consumer. No better than a man.
I'm no better than a man. I too use plugins. I too mix mostly inside the box. And for the longest time, I didn't know what that meant. And also, I do call it a DAW instead of a DAW, and it does make me sound like a chode. Sorry, I had an audio engineering teacher while I was at UCLA say to me years and years ago, yeah, you don't call it a DAW. Only chodes say DAW. And I was like,
A UCLA professor said that?
technically not a professor, only an educator, but it was on campus at UCLA.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. It's the main thing I remember from that class.
Is that hate speech?
Only towards chodes. And who's going to self-identify?
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about Coachella a little bit. Coachella recently happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been to Coachella before, yeah?
Only once.
What was your experience? Who did you see?
My experience was crazy.
Yeah, tell me.
Because I did not pay to go to that bullshit. Absolutely not. I was going out to the desert to visit a friend who did not have a ticket into Coachella. Shout out to Josiah. Additionally, while I'm on the way out there, I get a text in a group chat that's like, he found a ticket, like he's going to the festival. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to drive all the way to the desert and not post on my close friends list on Instagram to see if somebody can smuggle me into Coachella like I'm a box of grapes for, I don't know, Lil Nas X's rider. I'm sure it's mostly fruit being smuggled in there, respectfully. There's no implication.
California does have stringent fruit laws.
But I posted and I was like, on my close friends list, I was like, yo, can anybody get me into Coachella? And then 15 minutes later, I felt stupid and I deleted it and I took it down. And then 15 minutes after that, John, my buddy, calls me and he's like, bro, are you serious? And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, I'll get your ass over here. So I drove the rest of the journey out there and I parked and somebody dapped me up and put an artist wristband on me because I'm an artist. And I was at Coachella. and they allowed me into the festival, and I saw Doja Cat, and the crowd was like not lit enough.
Really?
She was amazing. The set was
Really?
incredible.
That was like Doja Cat in her prime too.
This was last year, so she did Agora Hills, and I cried.
I feel like there's kind of this arc happening in real time where like when we were growing up, like festivals like Coachella and Lala and Bonnaroo were these holy grails of performance, and like they still are, no doubt, and simultaneously
It's a completely different ethos.
I saw this post that Reggie Watts made about Coachella. He says, Coachella thoughts, I've been to Coachella a handful of times now, and while the scale is impressive, the soul feels increasingly absent. The experience is confusing and impersonal. Checkpoint after checkpoint, wristband logic puzzles, security everywhere. Most people on the grounds move like walking credit cards, pinging from one branded experience to the next. They're easily lost in the chaos, buried beneath the logistics, the brand activations, the overpriced everything. And then there's the waste. There are better ways to do this. There are independent festivals run by people who give a shit about the music, the artists, the fans, the land. They treat performers with care and build environments where real community can take root. That's where the magic is. That's what's worth supporting. Which I think that sentiment is so on point and actually like really beautiful. And it got me thinking about all of these different iterations of performance. And I feel like, not to be like over generalizing about it, but you know, the industry is getting really, really tough in all of these different directions. And you see all of these smaller festivals kind of falling by the wayside. I would say like mid-sized festivals are starting to fall by the wayside. Like Desert Days is a good example, where they had like a really amazing curated lineup and just weren't able to support the whole thing. I don't know. It makes me think like, okay, where is this going? Like, when's the last time you went to a show where you were like, they're really doing this right? This is a great operation.
I don't know, man. It's tough. I think that a lot of what we see at Coachella is what we see everywhere else in our world, whether it's on our phones or at Target or Walmart or Disneyland, where what we are seeing is an extraction of value and an extraction of capital from the festival goers and the artists there and the people working at the vendor things, and like every person who has a job in like being on the festival circuit. Two things happen, I think. One, people who are originally excited about these festivals stop going, but the new audience that comes in doesn't have the same like reverence or respect or excitement for the music or the experience.
Right.
Additionally, I think that Coachella is no longer an experience for the music fan. It is an experience for the influencer and content creator and person with an Instagram account to go and like get the photos taken and have the experience made visible to the others.
Right.
And see and photograph the people that other people are seeing and photographing.
Totally. It reminds me of this concept of like the dead internet theory. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Where it's like everything is made by bots and consumed by bots.
Oh yeah. It's like 60% of internet traffic is bots.
Exactly. And this makes me think like, okay, if we're making festivals for, you know, it's essentially marketing for what? Marketing for marketing? Who are you marketing to if it's just a marketing festival? And it does make me a little sad that, you know, I think, not to overgeneralize, but I think a lot of these people that are going to Coachella aren't really like tapped into what it means to being a music fan or what a festival actually really entails. Like when you think, I don't know, even when I think about festivals, I think about like I think about a festival as like it's a gathering of celebration and arts and culture. It's like what you do when life is good, you know?
Wouldn't it be nice?
It reminds me, speaking of Reggie Watts, so Reggie Watts and I actually played the same festival last year, and it was cool because we were in the same like artist camping area. He's a really nice guy. Hot. Super funny, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was at Oregon Country Fair, which not a lot of people know about unless you know. If you know, you know.
What's the cobbler situation like at the Oregon Country Fair?
The cobbler?
The cobbler. Is there a peach, a berry cobbler?
Actually, literally, their mascot is a peach.
I'm so happy.
The Oregon Country Fair is like a purely magical experience. It's it's right outside of Eugene, Oregon, and it's literally the fairgrounds. They are permanent structures that are there year round.
Oh my God.
And they only open up the festival for a couple days out of the year.
Oh my God.
So it's like kind of like farmland, but they have these permanent structures, and it's basically like a built up little city in the woods that is only open for a couple days. And what's also cool is that you cannot stay overnight. Like, you can't camp unless you volunteer. It's really, really beautiful, and they do an amazing job. Like, the facilities are great. There's, tons of resources for everybody, and they open up the fairgrounds during the day to the public. So the public comes in, and there's all these like arts and crafts and goods and stuff, and then there's music throughout the day, but then there's also these huge concerts at night.
What's the orgy tent like?
The orgy? The what?
I said, what's the orgy tent like?
I mean, I'm probably not going to include this, but like, people are gooped at that festival. What does gooped mean? Gooped is when you like do too many Yeah, high key, I had to kind of like help through the back end of his Did I tell you about that?
You're gonna have to bleep some things, but leave this in.
All is to say, Oregon Country Fair is it's just a place where you can really kind of just be whatever you need to be, and it's really magical and really special, and I really wish more places were like that.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
It would be so nice. But recently, we went to go see Andres's show for The Understory, and the show was just so spectacular. He had a French cello ensemble, 4 French horns, 4 cellos.
I'm so horny for that.
Yeah, I know.
I bet it sounded amazing.
Yeah.
What happened?
It was this really special thing of like, wow, this show is like not particularly high production. It's not particularly large, but this feels sustainable. There's something about this that feels really sustainable. And I don't know, like I'm getting more into that idea of like, I want to just curate events like once in a blue moon where it's like an installation.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
I want to book the smallest venue in a city and sell it out.
Yeah.
Like, can we book a dive bar again?
Kind of like we
literally
maybe have done in Portland, Oregon.
I think that like one of the better things that happened to Portland, Oregon in the last 600 years is like that show went so well. There was a line around the block. Capacity was like 30. There was 2 pool tables in the center.
They were not prepared.
Yeah.
They had one they had one staff member.
Because I think when you do that, when you make the event smaller and like a little goofy, maybe from the outside, like you give people something to remember and talk about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I went to this event that was in the Latvian Community Center and there was a French cello ensemble.
Yeah.
I think that all we are trying to do is like come up with new little anecdotes to be able to give to people. It's like, dude, all right, what did you see?
Well, their experiences.
Yes.
Their experiences and also their touch points for community. And I just feel like...
And touch points for time.
Yeah.
Which we do understand.
Yeah.
And have the concept for. And community, which you were saying.
Yeah.
Is...
I would be just so interested to see a movement kind of more in line with those smaller type of events that just feel a lot more sustainable. And really giving artists like the time to like curate the event, because like when you're going on tour like night after night after night, I don't feel like I personally have the ability, especially as an opener, because openers just kind of, you get whatever you get. Yeah. And but the idea of like really being able to like curate a room and curate a vibe and welcome people to your creative space.
It'd be nice. It would be nice.
It would be nice. We're gonna try a new segment today, which is an advice column from Idiot Chef America.
Let me nail this. I have to really become one with. I have to go inward and find my Guy Fieri, the guy that lives within me. There's a guy inside of me. Welcome back to another episode of Idiot Chef America.
I sourced some dilemmas from Instagram, and we are going to give you some sound advice. This was actually inspired by a series that you did a while ago called
Help Me Help You Get Laid.
Yes. Okay, so our first question is from Cross-Reference asking, I'm new to DJing. How do you go about finding tracks and crafting a good set? Really good question. And they specify that they kind of work in the house range.
Where are your gay friends?
Oh my god.
What are they listening to, bro? Listen to women who are the girls who are gay men.
That's part one. And then I would also say, like, boiler room sets are a really good place to start. And what you want to do is you want to find the tracks that you really resonate with, and then you want to go to that artist's page. And then you want to find that artist, and if they've done DJ sets, and then you want to go to the people that they spin, and then those people's pages. I mean, it's like, it starts with like the main river of like, here's this artist, like, I don't know. Right now I'm into an artist named Salute, so I would go to a Salute set, and then I would go through all of the songs, and the ones that are released, I would go to that artist, and then I would look at their Bandcamp, which also, by the way, go to their Bandcamps and their SoundClouds, not just their Spotifys, because usually they have extra goodies on those more kind of like independent sites. And then you just kind of start to branch out from there. But that's how I do it, is I find who are my favorite DJs spinning. And you can also go to like festival lineups, but just like boiler room pages are a great place to start. Next question. How can I stop hating everything I hate, says Windmills.
Hatred can only thrive inside of you if you give it what it needs to thrive. If you're creating an environment where hatred is the water, hatred is the soil, look inward, king or queen or non-binary person. Look inside. Why do you hate? What do you hate about yourself that you hate in other music? Examine that about yourself and then come back to me.
Yeah. My advice to how can I stop hating everything I hate? I don't think you have to stop. I'm kind of like, I'm pro-hater. Personally.
Yeah, let the hate fuel you additionally.
Yeah, additionally let it fuel
Additionally, let the hate additionally crash out.
Yeah, additionally let the hate flow through you.
Additionally, make a group chat with all your exes in your phone. Send the weirdest meme you got saved and then leave the group chat. See what that does for you. See what that does for your hating.
Okay, all right. Next one. Singisir says, my dog stinks.
Stop using your dog as a napkin after you eat Doritos, bro.
Stop using your dog as a...
We...
Anyway, okay, moving on. It's Kamish Bitch says, I'm trying to learn to play jazz this year, but it's fucking hard.
Amen, brother.
The Therialt asks, I want to reinvent myself after losing my job and unable to find work for a year. Worst advice, please.
Worst advice.
Run for office. Take RFK Jr.'s job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Block everyone that you know on social media. Get vaccinated to become autistic. Get the autism vaccine. It's the vaccine that you can elect to have so that you get autism. Enter yourself in the witness protection program. Fake your own death.
Become a yassified informant. Okay, moving on.
Hit me with another couple.
Will my baby mama ever stop cheating on me?
Did a white person submit this question?
No.
Oh, then I'm going to take it seriously. We were about to have a conversation about digital blackface and the usage of language in the year of our Lord 2025. Additionally,
should I tell you who wrote it, or do you not want to know?
Was it Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the last one. This person writes, I have a crush on someone who's also a great industry contact. Do I follow my heart or my network?
There's other hoes, and hoes is a gender neutral term that applies to any person or people you're attracted to of any and all genders. Remember when they asked Joe Biden how many genders there are, and he immediately was like, at least 3. What I would say is, how can you leverage the raw sexuality that you carry with you every day to turn this work connect into a love connection, and then roundabout backdoor it so that you're using that to get ahead of the company?
I think there's totally a world where you can be honest about it and not put the pressure on and see if they're interested in like a natural way and just be cool about it if it doesn't work. You know, like there are plenty of people in my life that have propositioned me where I was like, not really about it, but we stayed friends and it's totally fine. And I don't know, I don't think it has to be that hard. But that's just me personally. Also, I'm like not one to totally talk because I have dated and am currently dating a collaborator.
It's not me.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah, you didn't have to. That was quick. Jesus God.
I didn't mean it like that.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I did laugh. I am still laughing.
But all I was going to say is that it's like there's totally a world where you can date somebody who's like in the industry and it's just like fine because it ends up being like a point of connection. And it's nice to like be able to chat with people that really understand you and understand what it's like to be in an industry. And I'm assuming this person's in the music industry. It's nice to have that kind of understanding. And I think I don't know, I feel like it's navigable. But I think at the end of the day, you just gotta be like cool about it. You gotta be honest about it, cool about it, and really like not lay on the pressure, you know, like give them the space to come to you.
Worst possible advice? 2 a.m. you text them. You up. What's up, bitch? Can you imagine a work colleague you see around a couple of times
better
a
yet,
month at shows?
Better yet, you don't have their number yet. You send this to them via Outlook.
Slack them.
You slack. It is time for Secret Sauce, and I actually don't know if I have yet been so excited about a Secret Sauce because this integration came out at the top of the month for 404 Day.
Well, I mean, it's hurtful to me as one of your guests, but let's get it, I guess.
I am insensitive. That's fine. Anyway, on 404 Day, Serato and Roland announced an integration where you can now control the entirety of Serato with your SP404 Mark II. I think this is like legitimately going to be my new rig. So I'm going to show you some of these functions because you, I know, have started getting into DJing.
Yes, I recently DJ'd a workout class in San Diego for a lot of really hot white women. What about it?
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do is I have my laptop down here. So I'm gonna show you some basic functions. We're gonna mix some tracks. I'm gonna start with some demo tracks. So first of all, the laptop is down here at our feet, which is not normally where it should be, but we don't really need it. We don't really need to see it. But just to get us started.
You don't need to see our feet.
I'm literally doing menu navigation with...
Whoa.
Yeah, literally just with the enter knob. I'm going to start with LVLUP, which is a...
LVLUP.
Which is a quarter club tool. So basically all I did is I had the track already up and I just hit A to put it on bank A. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Whiskey, this other track that I love. I'm going to put it on bank B. So now we have these both loaded up. One of these tracks is at 137 BPM. The other track is at 129. I am going to sync the 129 to the 137 just by hitting the sync button. So now they are both sunk, ready to go, ready to play. And if I go into pattern editor, that's where all my cue points are. So also this is a good time to test the audio. Okay, so that's a good cue point, and then I literally only have one cue point for this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna hit the loop button. I'm gonna preset this on a loop based off of the cue point that I just set. And I'm going to go back over to my main menu, and I'm going to just start hitting play, and it's already on a loop. So we have that on loop. And then I can literally start cueing this. I just use the crossfader to put it back over to the other track, but I have both tracks going at the same time, and I have my crossfader here. I'm gonna put this on a loop. I also have the fader up here for these channels.
What the fuck?
Isn't it crazy?
That's so tight.
Isn't it fucking crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, so we have like, these are our decks, these are our faders, like there's a whole bunch going on. I'm gonna show you this in a second, but basically like these are your jog wheels too. You have a bend up, so it's like when you're, you know, trying to speed things up or slow things down, you have buttons for that. You can adjust your BPM of your tracks over here as well, so you can do beat matching stuff if you don't want to use the sync button, or if you use the sync button and you want to bring them down, like let's say that I'm bringing this down and now they're both going down by a couple BPM. Now we're at 131. I'll bring it back up to like, let's say just like 135 for now. And that's literally, this is what I'm saying is that like, I don't need to touch my computer at all to do all of these functions. So now this is where it's going to get stupid.
Okay.
I have this section. Let's say I'm going to, what if there was a world where I told you I just wanted the vocals? So now I have that on loop. And why don't I add a little bit of onboard reverb to that? Here we go, and take the reverb off. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, it's crazy.
This is so sick.
It's so crazy. So that's the other thing. I mean, I'm throwing in different like features as we're going. But what's crazy about this too is that the onboard effects for the SP404, which is like a slew of basically anything you can imagine, you can put them directly on the tracks that you're DJing, which is crazy. And if you want them on the first track, you make sure it's on bus 1. If you want on the second track, it's bus 2. So right now the effects are going to be on bus 1. So if I went back here, turned the drums back on for this track. Yeah.
This is very cool. And as a person who has recently started DJing and does not yet have an SP404, it does make me want to buy an SP.
Right.
Dude, like how long if I sit down and I spend like a couple minutes a day on this between like how long is it going to take me to figure it out?
Well, I can't guess that for other people. Like
how long did it take you to figure this out?
2 days.
Sick.
Like I started yesterday and then I worked on it this morning.
Oh, then that's great news. So all you need is a little bit of an understanding of like how DJing works.
No, honestly, the tutorial that Roland themselves put out is really easy to follow. And I will say that the learning curve is like, how well do you know Serato?
True.
And then also, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I've spent a lot of time on the 404. So I might not be the best person to ask because I feel like I already was pretty familiar with both of these. But here's what I will say. This has totally gotten me back into Serato and back on the 404 in a way that I just haven't been. Because I use my 404 for performance. And also on that note, if I hit hold, my whole performance library is here. All my samples. They're all here.
Oh my God.
I can literally play my own samples with the tracks that I'm DJing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's nutso. It's crazy.
That's really
like
tight.
That's why I'm saying, I'm like, I think they made this for me.
They very well may have. This is cool as hell.
you very generously donated an Unreleased ID. And I'm going to mix that with the track that I just released on Friday, Howling. And we're going to have a good time. Okay, so I have my track Howling here. And here's the thing, is that if I go to pattern edit, I can create more cue points. So I really didn't make that many cue points on this one. Let that play. Cue point here. I'm actually gonna stop it there. So I just made a bunch of different cue points. And you'll notice that like they kind of came in a little bit after the beat. So what I can do is I can hit shift and then just go back in the track a little bit, go back, and then now I have the downbeat. So it's super, super easy to use. I'm gonna fast forward in the song a little bit. Sorry. Okay.
Can you, was that recorded as part of the screen record?
Yeah.
Send me that and I'm gonna sample it.
Okay, so yeah, I just set up a bunch of these cue points. I also have your track in here. I'm gonna go back to the main page. I'm gonna hit sync so we're on the same BPM. Our tracks are actually in the same key already, which is really cute. But if I wanted to, this is also cool.
People might say that I'm conceited.
I have your track here. But check this out. If we go to pattern select and hit shift.
People might say that I'm conceited.
That's tight.
People might say that I'm arrogant. People might say
That I'm insane.
I like it there.
People are gonna say all kinds of shit, bro. So if nobody else is gonna say it, I will.
It's just so easy to repitch. It's crazy how easy it is to repitch. So I'm gonna go to, let's see. Okay, I think this was where I had it. I'm gonna loop that. Okay, I'm gonna start it from here. I'm gonna do a little transition. Let's go! Dude. I just fade the whole thing out. All right, okay. It's fun. It's fun. Please stream my single Howling. Please listen to the song. So that is today's episode of The Sauce Factory. Intrnet Boyfriend, thank you for blessing us.
Ain't nobody built like me.
All of the ways that you can support this show are in the links down below. We are on all streaming platforms, and I will also be including relevant resources to the Serato Roland integration if you are interested in that. And in the meantime, the best thing that you can do is just tell your friends that we exist and we're out here and we're doing this.
Want to see something crazy? I thought I was gonna be able to get back up.